Now at 9, Carthage police make an arrest in a homicide investigation. Plus, we'll have some tips to help you stay safe with the temperatures heating up. And we'll meet a pair of Pittsburgh high school students making waves in the world of AI.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. Authorities arrest a man in a homicide investigation in Carthage. Carthage police arrested 23-year-old Gavino McJunkins Marcius of Carthage. He faces the charge of abandonment of a corpse after police found the body of a 24-year-old Kenia Lopez of Carthage in a camper. The camper was found in Carthage, but police say Lopez was killed in Miami County, Kansas. The Miami County Sheriff's Office says they have requested the charge of second-degree murder against McJunkins Marcius. U.S. Marshals arrest a man in connection with a Newton County homicide. Authorities say Joshua Taft shot and killed 50-year-old Eric Whittington outside a home on Freddie Lane in Joplin on May 30th. The Marshals yesterday arrested Taft in Oklahoma. Taft faces charges including second-degree murder and armed criminal action. Joplin police turn to the public for information regarding a stabbing incident. They received the 911 call at about 4 this morning. When they arrived on scene just outside Water Gardens on Kentucky, officers found a 42-year-old man with a stab wound to his chest. Authorities consider his wounds to be non-life-threatening. The other male involved in the incident was not present when officers arrived. The JPD is asking the public for any information concerning the identity of that individual. An 8-year-old girl dies because becoming unresponsive on a flight from Joplin to Chicago. The incident happened early yesterday morning. A passenger on the flight said the flight attendant got oxygen for the girl when the family asked for help. The plane diverted to Peoria, Illinois, due to her emergency condition. The girl has been identified as Sydney Weston of Carl Junction, Missouri. An autopsy has been scheduled for today. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us with a first look at our weather.
Well, temperatures are starting to cool down. Unfortunately, it doesn't stay like that for the rest of the weekend. We're going to continue to warm up into the mid-90s with humidity values starting to climb as well. Likely going to see a few more heat advisories through the weekend. We had one earlier today out in Miami and Newada counties as well, but we're staying all right currently. Like I said, though, throughout the rest of the weekend, likely going to see another couple heat advisories popping up, especially on Sunday, Monday, with those being our hottest days this weekend and humidity values continuing to climb. So we've got a warm front moving through, which is bringing that hot and humid air behind it. We may see some storms, although likely it's going to shift north of us because our environment's not too primed for any type of storms. But stay with us and I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The official start of summer is June 20th, but the heat and the dangers that come with it are already here. KOAM Samantha Walker spoke with some people enjoying the outdoors about how they are protecting themselves.
And we don't want anybody getting hurt. We don't want anybody falling over or passing out.
Every June, the Neosho National Fish Hatchery hosts a fishing derby for seniors and those with disabilities. But rising temperatures pose a risk, especially to those deemed at risk to extreme heat by the American Red Cross. It's something derby organizers say they keep in mind.
It's easy for this heat and the sun to sneak up on you. You feel okay, especially some of these folks sitting around the pond fishing. Oh, I'm a little hot, but I'll just try to cast one more time, or I'll just do a little bit more. And then when they stand up, they realize, uh-oh, maybe I've been out here a little long.
The Red Cross recommends limiting outdoor activities and exercise during the hottest part of the day. For those that do spend time outdoors, they recommend drinking plenty of water and avoiding sugary, caffeinated, and alcoholic drinks, which can cause you to become dehydrated.
Drink plenty of water. I drink a lot of water, always wear a hat, and find the shade if you can.
Organizers at the fishing derby encourage participants to stay hydrated, wear loose-fitting, light-colored clothing, and to find shade when they need it. Some attendees say they are experienced in the sun and have learned what works best for them.
I wore a hat. I have sunscreen on as well. I don't want my head sunburnt. I don't want my skin sunburnt. want to try to protect myself as much as possible. And the water I need because, we get dry out here in this heat.
Those who are frequently outside during these warmer months say they encourage others to find ways to protect themselves. They say it's better to be safe than sorry.
The alternative is not very good. Don't want to end up in the hospital.
Reporting in the O Show, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
You can find more tips and resources on how to stay safe while enjoying the outdoors on our website, koamnewsnow.com. KDOT announces an update to progress on the US 166 400 realignment and expansion project. The department says they will switch traffic in Cherokee County. Two-way traffic will be placed on the new eastbound lanes between Baxter Springs and the Kansas-Missouri border. In conjunction with the opening of US 166, the existing US 166 K26 junction will be closed to traffic. A signed detour at the scene will alert drivers of direction. Weather permitting, the expansion should be open by the end of the month. People are still out and about in Pineville, Missouri, raising money for cancer research. It's the Relay for Life, and it's only getting started. The event will run until 7 in the morning, with all the money going to the American Cancer Society. There is also information about cancer and its research efforts at the event. You can stop by. Two Pittsburgh teens are diving into the world of artificial intelligence by starting their own business. One of them, Noah Niederklein, just graduated from Pittsburgh High School and is headed to Concordia University in the fall. The other one is Dominic Bach, the son of our very own Tanya Bach. He'll be a senior next year. KOAM's Dow Quick has their story.
Ever since November and the big ChatGPT large language model AI wave hit, I've been really enthralled in that and using it for not only personal uses but also educational uses.
Education and AI technology. It's a murky combination few have ventured, but it's exactly where Dominic Bach and Noah Niederklein are headed. Through the Pittsburgh High School Launch Program, the pair started working with Pitsco Education, helping the company launch its Drone Maker and Luma products. Dominic then recruited Noah to join him on his AI dream, working with Pitsco to develop AI technology that would give every student an individualized learning experience, one that would stimulate students like himself who aren't challenged in the typical classroom.
And then on the flip side, you also have students on the lower end who are being left behind.
We just think that's really important for all students to have the opportunity to have that power and control over how they learn.
So how does it work?
In our system, that teacher role is replaced by a large language model, and whenever the student has a question or a concern, they can ask the large language model and talk to them, and the large language model is going to act as a teacher and work them through the content and really just help them learn.
But as it's doing that, it's also learning.
One amazing example that we had is, say Tommy, he has a baseball game coming up. And he talks to his AI and tells him that he has this baseball game coming up.
Dominic and Noah's technology will remember that detail and connect the dots.
The AI is going to then notify the teacher, say, oh, hey, Tommy, he has a baseball game coming up, and I noticed his academic performance is dropping in correlation with that. I think there's a correlation between those two things. You should talk to him about that and figure out what's going on. And that's really the core of what we want to do. We want to keep teachers involved in the students' lives and make sure the teacher is acting as sort of a mentorship type role.
We're not completely taking the teacher out of the picture and replacing them with the AI. The AI is becoming an assistant, a tool that the teacher uses to help them with their job.
With Pitsco on board, Dominic's AI dream is gaining ground.
The next step in terms of our partnership with Noah and Dominic is to take our learning management system that's called Synergy, that is utilized all over the United States in classrooms in all 50 states, and be able to start embedding artificial intelligence components into it and be able to help Noah and Dominic tweak their systems, be able to pilot test and beta test with some of our closest customers, and really start to join the wave of artificial intelligence.
Right now, the educational system, as it currently stands, just doesn't really work. There's no other way to put it. I believe that it needs something significant to stir it up and make some big waves, and I think this is what that can be.
Making waves that have the potential to revolutionize the education system in America. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Dow Quick, KOAM News.
In 5 years, both Dominic and Noah hope to expand their AI tech into other systems like educational systems such as Canvas and Blackboard. Coming up, a shortage that impacts the most helpless.
A new audit is putting the FDA on blast over its response to complaints at the nation's largest baby formula plant. I'm Chanley Painter. Details coming up.
Psychotherapy can help older veterans deal with chronic pain and mental health symptoms. A study out of UCLA finds confronting trauma and stress helped to greatly reduce pain in 63% of veterans. The treatment focused on expressing and releasing emotions and involved both personal and group therapy. Many parents and guardians probably remember the nationwide baby formula shortage in 2022. And while many factors helped trigger the crisis, the findings from a new audit are putting the Food and Drug Administration in the hot seat. This over its handling of concerns surrounding the country's largest formula producer prior to the incidents. Fox News correspondent Chanley Painter has the story.
The results of a new audit reveal failures in the Food and Drug Administration's response to concerns at the country's largest baby formula plant. The investigation by the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Inspector General found it took the FDA more than 15 months to forward an email from a whistleblower over conditions at an Abbott nutrition factory in Michigan.
The Office of Inspector General is an independent organization, completely independent of the FDA.
The email was sent to the FDA in February of 2021, describing alleged safety violations at the plant. But according to the report, that warning was, quote, inadvertently archived and wasn't found until June of 2022. 2 babies later died and several more were hospitalized because of a rare bacterial infection after drinking powdered formula made at the Abbott Nutrition Factory in Michigan. The FDA says it can't confirm Abbott's formulas caused those deaths and illnesses.
People have to be comfortable with the safety of powder infant formula.
That facility was then temporarily closed for several months back in February of 2022, with Abbott issuing a massive recall. The aftermath contributing to a nationwide formula shortage that year.
We need to have better reporting standards for the public to report to the problems, for the FDA to report its findings when things go wrong, making sure that the inspection process for factories is improved and handled better.
FDA officials responding to the audit say they agree with the findings. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
Lindsay is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, 2 of the best high school basketball players from Southeast Kansas are teaming up at the next level.
Well, temperatures are going to continue to warm up for the weekend. We do have some storm chances over the next week as well. Taking a look outside at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Nice little sunset going on earlier today, and we do have winds picking up with the storms that are rolling in late this evening, although we may not even see any of that. Temperatures have started to continue to warm up. We've got 92 for our high today, 71 for our low, so we're above average this time of year. We are in a heat wave. It's going to continue to warm up until Monday. Monday's going to be our hottest day on the forecast so far, and then we'll start to cool down next week. We do have some storms rolling in, and as of right now, still a ways away. We've got a couple more hours before they start to push in. Likely we may not even see any of those storms. I'll talk about that in just a minute, but with these temperatures continuing to warm up into the 90s, we're getting into the low to mid 90s for the next couple of days, but humidity values above 40% when temperatures are above 90 makes that heat index value closer to the triple digits. So it's going to feel a lot hotter than what it actually is. Now, with heat-related illnesses possible just at 90 degrees, add that humidity into it, and they're very likely. So stay hydrated out there and try not to spend too long outdoors because this weekend's going to be pretty hot. Today we had about a moderate risk for heat But tomorrow, a little bit more than that. We've got a major risk in some of our western counties and moderate for everybody else. And then continuing into Sunday, a major risk for most of our northern counties and our western counties. Joplin's kind of patchy there. Pittsburgh's still in a bit of a moderate risk. Miami moderate. And then we move into Monday, where we start to see that extreme risk push into our northeastern counties, Stockton, and even northern than that. The rest of us, central and western counties, still in that major risk. So this is for Monday. And then if you're south of Joplin, a bit more of a patchy, moderate risk. So as we move into Monday, it's going to get really hot. Humidity values really skyrocket. So it's going to be muggy and humid and gross out there for the weekend. So stay hydrated. Try not to spend too long outdoors. We've got some storms moving in tonight, and it may cool us off, but our environment's not really set up for any type of storm activity. So what this front is going to do is push northwards. Boundary will continue through Kansas City. We may get a storm or two on our western counties as it's moving north, but likely it's not really going to stick through any of our central counties. Then it'll continue. Boundary drops back down just north of Springfield as it moves out of our area. So again, we may see a storm or two as it's leaving our eastern counties, but we're really not going to see anything. We've got another chance for an isolated storm or two Saturday afternoon around 7 p.m. But again, we're really not expecting any type of severe weather with any of these storms that are passing through. It's just those evening summertime pop-up thunderstorms, and those chances continue tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday being our coolest day on the forecast, and Monday being our hottest day.
It was hot today, too.
It was. It's bad. I take the dogs out for a walk, and we get halfway down the block, and Willow wants to turn around. She's like, not for it.
I was out golfing today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it started out okay, and then it got a little miserable.
Yeah,
but
well, I could imagine.
Shout out to my team, by the way.
Okay. Of
Jordan, Sammy, and Zach. We dominated.
Congratulations.
We still lost. It's okay.
Oh,
it's fine.
Well, then you didn't dominate.
Thanks, Lindsay. Joplin Police today connected with the community. The department hosted a block party at Cunningham's Park Aquatic Center. Folks were able to come out and swim for free, enjoy some hot dogs, and check out police vehicles and equipment.
It's all about. It's all about connecting with the community, building these relationships, having these laid-back conversations in a place where there's free swimming, free food, and a lot of things to look at. We have our emergency communication center here also that is they're playing games and they're learning more about communication and dialing 911.
Tomorrow, the JPD will host a water safety class at Wildcat Park. Coming up, finding those summer jobs.
Summer hiring season underway, and do you think they're having more trouble finding full-time or part-time workers this summer? I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network in Wildwood, New Jersey. The answer in a moment.
Summer is heating up, and so is the part-time job market. Fox Business Jeff Flock is at the boardwalk on the New Jersey shore to check the temperature on the state of seasonal workers.
We're coming to you from the giant wheel here in legendary Wildwood, New Jersey. This is the Jersey Shore, and maybe you take a look out there, you see the legendary Maury's Pier. This is an amusement park that has, well, just every ride you might want to know. Of course, you know, the classic summer job is out at the amusement park. And usually you hire about 1,500 folks. I've got the Vice President of Human Resources, Denise Bexon, with me. You usually hire a lot of folks in the summer. You usually have some trouble with that, right? This year, not so much.
That's correct. It's usually a struggle every year, and this year we filled our rosters fast.
And one of the reasons for that, take a look at the latest jobs report. It turns out that we had maybe 600,000 fewer full-time workers and about 300,000 more part-timers. People seem to want part-time these days.
I think so. They enjoy the flexibility and they enjoy the change of pace, changing environment, so we absolutely see that.
Yeah, I give folks a look out here at the Atlantic Ocean. 1,500 workers, and you particularly attracted a lot of young people this year because of a campaign you did. What was that?
Yes, we did Thumbs Up for Kindness. So we tied our hiring campaign to a donation to a local charity. So every like, every engagement, every application turned into a donation to a kindness, anti-bullying local group.
Yeah, and you said some of these young people, they want to work at a place that is actually helping somebody.
Yes, our research showed that they want to work somewhere that aligns with their core values. It's giving back back to a greater good.
Gotcha. Okay, well, plenty of full-time jobs out there. You got some full-time jobs you still need to hire, but part-time, they got plenty of them. People like the part-time work, and who wouldn't want to work out here at the pier with a lot of smiling faces and screaming kids on roller coasters? That's the latest from Wildwood. I'm Jeff Locke with the Fox Business Network.
Several cities on the West Coast and in Hawaii are now considered impossibly unaffordable. 5 cities made the list for the most unaffordable places to buy a home. Unsurprisingly, the most expensive U.S. cities are in California. San Jose, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego all made the top 10. Honolulu came in 6th out of 94 major markets surveyed in 8 countries. Gas prices are cheaper than last summer and miles away from where they peaked 2 years ago. AAA says the national average for regular gas stood at $3.46 a gallon yesterday. That's down $1.56 from the national record of $5.02 set in June of 2022. It's also down 13 cents from this point last year. Up next, Civil War enthusiasts get together to reenact the famous Battle of Carthage. The city of Carthage, Missouri traveled back in time today as actors get ready to recreate the Battle of Carthage. The famous battle was the first full-scale conflict of the Civil War. The reenactors built their own camps, performed drills, and prepared for the battles that will take place tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
Put together all the logistics and organization of the event, and contact all the different reenacting groups around the country and advertise nationally. So that's how we put it together.
The reenactment is organized by the 1st Nebraska Volunteer Infantry Regiment, Company A. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Supreme Court rules on whether a Trump-era ban on firearms stocks is legal. Plus, President Biden wraps up his trip to Italy by meeting with Pope Francis.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. The Supreme Court says the federal government cannot ban so-called bump stocks. The Trump-era ban was put in place after the deadliest mass shooting in American history. Fox News senior national correspondent Rich Edson is in Washington with more on the court's decision.
In the deadliest mass shooting in American history, a lone gunman opened fire on a Las Vegas music festival in 2017, killing 60 people and injuring more than 400. The shooter fired more than 1,000 rounds thanks to devices like these, bump stocks. They substantially increase the firing rate of a semi-automatic weapon. And in Washington today, the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 ruling, said the administration cannot ban them.
This is a huge victory for the NRA and other gun rights groups.
The ATF, under President Trump, banned bump stocks following the Las Vegas shooting, effectively classifying them as machine guns. A Texas gun store owner sued, saying the agency overstepped its authority. Writing for the majority, Justice Clarence Thomas said, quote, "A bump stock is not a machine gun because it does not fire more than one shot by a single function of the trigger, which is how Congress has defined a machine gun since 1934.
This limits the ability of the ATF to adopt broader definitions to accomplish limitations that Congress has not approved.
In her dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor said the majority's artificially narrow definition hamstrings the government's efforts to keep machine guns from gunmen like the Las Vegas shooter. The decision leaves any potential ban on bump stocks up to Congress. And on Capitol Hill, there's mixed opinions on how to proceed.
It's a strong statement and still continue to protect sports Second Amendment rights, so I'm glad the court did it.
So the Supreme Court is crippling our ability to combat the epidemic of gun violence.
In a statement, President Biden criticized the Supreme Court for striking down what he calls an important gun safety regulation and called on Congress to pass a bump stock ban. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Demolition of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School building in Parkland, Florida is underway. That's where 17 people died in a 2018 mass shooting on Valentine's Day. A large excavator started the process on top of the 3-story classroom building this morning. Victims' families were expressing mixed feelings about the demolition. President Biden's trip to Italy wrapped up with a meeting with Pope Francis. The two leaders covered some of the world's most pressing issues, ranging from war to artificial intelligence. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
President Biden, the second Catholic U.S. president, sat down with Pope Francis for a closed-door meeting in Italy. The wars in Gaza and Ukraine were expected to dominate the conversation, but the leader of the Catholic Church also has a surprising interest in artificial intelligence and the ethical challenges that come with it.
We would condemn humanity to a future without hope if we took away people's ability to make decisions about themselves and their lives by dooming them to depend on the choices of machines.
Pope Francis addressed leaders from the world's leading democracies, saying it's on politicians to create guardrails and urging them to prevent the use of AI-guided weapons. President Biden also met with the G7's host, the conservative Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. They reportedly discussed what the group would say about reproductive rights around the world.
We know we can only deal with the global challenges we are facing if we are able to cooperate with respect and with a peer-to-peer approach.
Like some other world leaders at the summit, President Biden has been under constant scrutiny as he runs for re-election.
I know our friends around the world, the nations that are depending on America to be strong and to lead, are watching this president demonstrate weakness, and they are very worried about it.
President Biden is in California this weekend for a star-studded campaign fundraiser. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
A little bit later, we'll see how Pixar's newest animated movie is expected to fare at the box office this weekend.
Well, temperatures are pretty warm. Unfortunately, they're going to continue to get warmer through the weekend, but we'll go ahead and take a look outside. Downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex looking pretty good earlier today. We did get up to about 92 degrees though, so it was a hot one, and humidity values above 40% makes it feel even warmer than that. Our low only got down to about 71, so we're well above average for this time of year. We're in our first heat wave of the summer, and it's just going to continue to get worse through Monday. Luckily, we'll start to cool down a little bit after Monday, but we also have some storms rolling in tonight, although as they move through our area, since our environment is not primed for these storms, likely they're going to shift north, and we may not even see any of that rain. But we will still get those humidity values above 60%, which means all of the temperatures that are above 90 in the next couple of days, they're going to feel like they're in the upper 90s, even hitting triple digits. That's the heat index, and that is what is giving us these heat advisories in some of our counties. Likely going to see a few more throughout the rest of the weekend. Heat-related illnesses are possible above 90 degrees, and then when you add that humidity in there, it's even worse. So stay hydrated, try not to spend too long outside. So today we were moderate risk, slight major risk. Tomorrow a little bit warmer, and that major risk kind of shifts from all of our northern counties and all of our western counties. So if you are in Kansas, you're in a major risk for heat tomorrow, and then just continues to get worse as we move through Sunday and Monday. Monday is going to be an extreme risk. It's our hottest part of the forecast, our hottest day, and we've got that extreme risk creeping into our eastern counties, and then that major risk for, again, all of our northern counties and western counties. A little bit patchy there in the southern counties, some moderate risk, some major risk. Just stay hydrated out there. And like I said, try not to spend too long outside. We've got some rain pushing in tonight, although like I said, with our environment not being primed for these storms, that boundary is going to lift north and move through Kansas City. We may still have a storm or two in those western counties, Elk, Chautauqua, Greenwood, but as it moves closer to the area, it does start to dissipate. And then it'll drop back down after it moves out of our environment. So just clipping our eastern counties. Stockton may get some rain, but it'll continue to shift north after that. Then rotates back in. We might have an isolated storm or two pushing in Saturday afternoon, maybe a couple showers here in our western counties as well, but likely not going to see much with the humidity values And the temperature, it's going to be pretty hot for the next couple of days, and with little to no rainfall, we may not see a cooling down period until Wednesday. So Monday is going to be our hottest day on the forecast. Low temperatures getting down to mid-70s for the rest of the weekend. Like I said, we cooled down a little bit on Wednesday with some isolated thunderstorms, but I don't see a break in the near future with these temperatures.
We all know how much you love the hot weather.
Well,
that's not
it's
true.
a little bit of taste of the South. I'll give you that.
Sure.
You know, it's hot and humid in the Gulf, but I'm not loving it so far.
I hate it.
So far, not so great.
It's icky and nasty, and I don't like it at all.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Thanks, Lindsay. Still ahead, 2 of the best high school basketball players from Southeast Kansas are teaming up at the next level. Two of the best high school basketball players from Southeast Kansas have committed to the same school as each other. KOAM Sports Director John Dales has the story on the outgoing seniors representing the 4 states at the next level.
You already know the names: Mason English, Ethan Dillinger, 2 of the top high school basketball players in the 4 states.
Sophomore year and junior year, I kind of felt like I needed to step up my game, you know, and try to provide for the team more. And then after that, I just realized that no one can really stop me in the SEK.
Sophomore year, I grew like 7 inches, crazy. So I was 6'6", 6'7", and had guard skills, and you know, I feel like a lot of people are looking for that.
After each had first-team All-State senior seasons, the 2 Southeast Kansas stars commit to the same school, Link Academy.
Not just like the fact that they're very successful in sending people to the next level. Just, I felt like that place was just like perfect.
Their campus is really nice. I've practiced at the facility a lot. And just the people there, just like the vibe I get whenever I go, and it's just amazing.
Link is a prep school in Branson with a history of producing top basketball talent, including 58 current D1 players and 8 pros. Both English and Dillinger are looking forward to improving their game against the best of the best.
I can improve like my vertical, like get stronger and everything. And then hopefully get a couple offers from D2, D1s to play at the next level.
Just to expand my game a lot more. You know, I can score the ball whenever I want, but just working on defense, you know, getting in better shape and just stuff like that.
And these 2 playing on the same team for the first time is an added bonus.
I think me playing with another big, I think it helps a lot. With his size and his athleticism, I think we could do some pretty good things.
I see him everywhere, dude. Like, he's good. He's real good. So I think it'll be really cool playing with him and maybe steal some of his stuff because he's good.
John Dales, KOAM Sports.
Dillinger and English both have 4 years of NCAA eligibility remaining after they finish the 1-year program at Link Academy. For more on the story, go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back with more after this. Pixar's Inside Out has high expectations leading into the weekend, but how will it fare? Here's David Daniel in today's Hollywood Minute.
Look, we all have a job to do. I plan for the future.
Inside Out 2 could be 2024's #1 so far. Box office trackers say the animated sequel, opening in North America this weekend, could debut with $80 to $90 million in ticket sales. Anything over $82.5 million would surpass Dune Part 2 as the year's top domestic debut. It's already opened #1 in 8 international markets, including Germany and Korea.
I got a once-in-a-lifetime score. You the Marine? Yeah. You the ex-con?
Yeah, I did time, but you only got to cast aspersions at me, guy.
Ocean's 11 alums Matt Damon and Casey Affleck try for one more score in The Instigators. The Boston boys return to the hub in the official trailer for the comic crime flick, which also features Damon's downsizing co-star Hong Chow, along with Alfred Molina, Paul Walter Hauser, and Ving Rhames. The Instigators, from Damon's Bourne Identity director Doug Liman, debuts on Apple TV Plus August 9th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Coming up, a bear on the loose in a neighborhood. We'll have more on how residents reacted. Residents in California came face to face with a bear as it made its way through a peaceful neighborhood. Nicole Comstock has more.
A big, bad bear broke into 4 homes and a garage today in Sierra Madre. Police had to fire pepper balls and sound a horn to scare it back into the nearby forest, but not before it walked around the neighborhood for nearly 2 hours, like it owned the place.
It was a very polite bear. It didn't do any damage.
It barged in through Lori DeVault's screen door on a mission for meat.
She just opened up the freezer and pulled out the chicken. The neighbor filmed the bear running away with this hanging from its mouth. Got scared by the police, dropped the chicken, and the police gave me back my frozen chicken.
The city of Sierra Madre says no one was injured, and that halfway through this year, people have reported 100 bear sightings here, with 4 bears now entering homes. That's actually down substantially from last year, when 370 bear sightings were reported, with 70 bears entering homes. They say bear-resistant trash cans and a ban on feeding bears has helped tremendously.
I don't feel threatened by them, but, I wish it was different.
This officer dipped down through the screen door just like the bear. Other officers kept their guns drawn until the house was confirmed to be bear-free.
I respect them and I love them, but I don't want them around. They should be more out in the wild and not trying to live off our trash cans and what's in the refrigerator.
That was probably very scary. Yeah? No? All right, never mind. All right, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of lion cubs at the London Zoo. From all of us here at KOAM, have a great night.